Good morning. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com. And it's a Sunday morning. So that means it's time for my sermon. Oh, I'll tell you, I've had people accuse me of preaching and pushing my beliefs on others. And sometimes I do. And that's going to be the subject of this video. And it's bullies and tyrants. Now, this is a very important video, and it's going to be very deep. So, I'm not really looking to make an argument, but if you want to try to bully me and make an argument out of it, I can do that too. What it is, if you think that you don't have the same problems as I do when it comes to bullies and tyrants, you are a sheeple. The people that don't understand the situation that they're in are blinded, and they're, like I say, they're sheeple or they're zombies. They just blindly follow. Bullies and tyrants expect you to blindly follow. And when you resist, then they take steps to intimidate you. And then what it is, it's to break your spirit. You hear me talk about strong individuals coming together. These strong individuals coming together aren't because they were told to. They know, they realize they have a moral obligation. And that moral obligation comes ahead of everything. Boy, that's almost close to manning up, isn't it? Now, let's start from the beginning. Okay, the first thing, as a child, when you tell a child, when somebody bullies you, somebody says bad things about you, says somebody does something to hurt you, I don't care what it is, when they do something to hurt you, and you tell this child to report them, that's the first step in making sheeple, zombies. Okay, I'm giving you instructions. Somebody hurts you in any way, you report them to somebody. And the reason you're reporting them is because you're too damn stupid to take personal responsibility. That's what you're telling the kid. Now, it's different when you tell the kid, say something to me. Let me understand what the problem is. And the reason is, your job as the parent is to help the kid understand there are good things and bad things in this world. And you need to deal with both of them. And as a parent, you're going to help them deal with it. The best thing you can do is you tell your kid, if the person is bullying you, and you explain what bullying is, and I'm going to explain it later on more. And when you're being bullied, you fight. And the time you may win, you may lose the fight. You're little kids. How much damage can a little kid do? I mean, little kids, their bones are flexible, their bodies are flexible, their teeth aren't. So you might knock out a tooth. Okay, as a parent of this kid that knocked out this guy's tooth, feel happy to pay for a new tooth for the kid. So, because your child learned that they don't have to be victimized by a bully. They've learned the first step in self-confidence, and that's taking the physical responsibility over your own body. Not allowing some tyrant, some bully, someone that overpowers you and scares you and makes you do something you know is wrong. They've made that first step, and it's a big step. Because the next time, they'll be more willing to put up a fight, whether they win or lose. Now, like I say, all my videos are talking about my experiences, so I'm going to share some of my experiences. As up to maybe 12 years old, up to 6th grade, something like that, I really didn't have any major racial problems. I mean, like 4, 5, 6, 10 against me. I never had it that. It started about 12. But before that, I was a nice kid, easy to get along with, and I mentioned I had dyslexia, and I couldn't read real good. So, and I don't know if nobody knew what it was at that time or what it was. I know I didn't know what it was, but I know I couldn't hardly read. And so the main problem that I would have, there wasn't too many of them, but the bullies would make fun of me. You know, call me stupid, retarded, all this sort of kind of cool stuff. And I just ignored them because I didn't have good parental guidance. I didn't have a mother. So what I did is I just ignored them and let it go at that. And they would just, and it was just talk, but it was hurting me. And no big deal. And then, but then again, I was good in sports. And so I did have physical abilities. So they would, and bullies would they like the weak ones. And so what would happen is they more mentally would bully me. But like I say, I just ignored them because, like I say, I knew they were stupid because they're making judgments that they don't know anything about. And but what happened is they would start bullying the weak ones among us. And then that's when, so I guess I had this kind of thing about protecting the underdog. I guess I've had that for a long time. But when they would start on the weak kids, then I would invite myself into the discussion. And then they would, then instead of picking on this one weak person, now they got one weak person and one person that's standing up to them. And so And then normally there was, normally it'd be about 2 or 3. You have the one bully and then the ones that are learning to be a bully. And so then I would step up there with them and show my support. At first, that wasn't smart. Remember I talked about fight, win or lose? Okay. I was pretty fortunate because one thing, I'm Chinese. And because I don't read well, I focused on my physical abilities. So I started learning martial arts when I was young. And it was mainly the principles. Kind of like my videos. The principles based on, you see, I cover so many fields. And when you learn all these basics in all these different fields, it's easier to have confidence in yourself, and you can focus on what you need to strengthen yourself. And that's what I did. And so and at that time I was young, not too smart, so they would hit me and I would respond. And if you know anything about fights, I'm shocked how many people have never been in fights, but the worst part about a fight is getting hit the first time. Right when you get hit, and then you think, that's all it is? It doesn't hurt that much. So then you think, that's all it is? And then you're ready to fight. But getting ready for that first punch, it gets a little intense. So I say, I wasn't smart, so I'd let them hit me. But I also knew how to take a hit. So they would hit me, and then bam, the fight's on. And normally, at first, it was the fight, and then when I'm winning, then it's 2 or 3 buddies. But we're little kids, so it's not that much. And my father told me not to fight because he knew I was practicing, he knew what I was doing, and he told me not to fight. And so I couldn't really put up a fight. What I had to do is just defend myself. In other words, put up enough force, resistance, to stop the attacker. And that was, like I say, as a child, up to 12 years old, it wasn't that hard. You make a bloody nose. For my stuff, I knew how to hit certain spots where it would cause pain, but no permanent damage. So, and I was learning these spots. That's how I learned them. And then, so I put up a fight. I resisted. And so what it wasn't so much the bullies bullying me up to 12 years old. It was they would bully other people, and I would step in next to them, or in front of them, one or the other, and show them support. And in my little world at that time, it didn't take long for everyone to figure out that I'm not going to be bullied. They knew when I would step in, there's going to be resistance, and it basically it didn't really get much worse than that. Now, so what I'm saying is, as a child, we need to support our children. The best thing is to teach them or let them take some martial arts classes. They'll learn discipline. Not everybody is going to fight. Not everybody. And it's okay. But they have to, if that is an option for them, they need to be open to it. And then if they lose interest, good. You don't need to make them do it. If they're going to lose interest, don't worry about it. But they need to know there's options. Just like my videos. I make my videos to let you know there are options. If you think about it, all of my videos are to keep you from being victimized. Victimized by bullies and tyrants. Three-man militia is a good example. But anyway, okay. Now, from 12 years old, that's when I was in, up to 12, I was in 6th grade, and it was the small school just down the street, and it was all in our neighborhood. When I went up to, I don't know if they call that middle school now, we call it junior high, and then that brought in a bigger area. It was a bigger school and a bigger area. And it was an all-white school. Well, I was in my whole time was in the all-white school system in Topeka, Kansas. It was the last segregated school system in the nation. But anyway, so